Hey everybody, here is this week's JD Farag prophecy update response. And this week, JD is talking about the Pope's visit and as he calls it, the prophetic implications of the Pope visit to the Middle East. So let's listen in.
It wasn't just historic. I would argue it was prophetic. And I say that because it's the first visit by a pope to the Arab Gulf state in history.
Now, why would that make it prophetic? Again, listen to what he just said. He said, I would argue it's prophetic, not just historic. And that's because it's the first visit of the Pope in that region in history. Okay, that would make it historic. That wouldn't make it prophetic, though. That wouldn't. Why is I'm not trying to mince words, but I mean it's like they're important here. Why would that make it prophetic just because it's never happened before?
The Pope called it, quote, a new page in the history of relations between religions. Doesn't that just sound so nice? Oh.
Well, yeah. So again, his entire purpose in saying all this is that anytime something happens that's kind of new and interesting or historic, he's got to immediately make it prophetic. It must have prophetic significance because it's new. So I guess the moon landing in 1969 was prophetic too, right? The internet was prophetic. You know, women having the right to vote, that was prophetic because that was unheard of in the history of the world. I don't think women ever had the right. People weren't able to vote for many centuries of any kind. There was no voting going on. And then when finally America was founded, women had the right to. Why was that prophetic too? Just because it's brand new and unprecedented? I don't know. Point is hype is what drives everything. Hype. This is unprecedented, everyone. Everyone listen, pay attention. Pay attention. Something's happening that's never happened before. Must be prophetic, must be biblical. That's what you got to be careful about. Biblical things are biblical. Things that are actually in the Bible are prophecy. Things happening in the news are not prophecy. They are things in the news. So a big trick these guys play is anything happening in the news that seems really new and wow, we've never seen this before, they just make it prophecy out of thin air. And that's what he's doing here.
Oh, the relations between religions.
Yeah.
While there, he delivered a homily to an estimated 135,000 in attendance, which included, interesting, over 4,000 Muslims in the capital city of Abu Dhabi. What's interesting is on Monday, and you would be hard-pressed. I had to do quite a bit of research to come up with the text of this and any kind of mention of this. But on Monday, the Pope and the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar signed a declaration calling for peace in the presence of a global audience.
Yeah, how dare they? Yeah, see, and this is like bad. So this is automatically bad. We can't trust any of this. We should actually, as Christians, look down upon this because this is not good. This is only a call for one world religion. Okay, so that's what he's setting up with. That's why he mocked earlier. Oh, it sounds so lovely. See, he's mocking it because he thinks either A, it's a false peace, or B, it's a true peace, but under the wrong framework. It should be under Christ. And number three, it's part of the end times, and we're all going to watch this whole thing break down under the coming Antichrist system anyway. So we know what this really means. So that's the attitude and framework behind this whole discussion and presentation.
Global audience in attendance at this signing ceremony included religious leaders from Christianity, better understood as Catholicism, sure, Islam, and Judaism, as well as other faiths. You have to understand that, and you'll forgive the car reference again, but the big three, the big three are Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. And here's how it works in Jerusalem. Friday is Islam, Saturday, Shabbat, is Judaism, and Sunday is Christianity.
Okay.
The big three major religions all worship in Jerusalem today, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Listen to this quote from the Pope in regards to this signing. I'm quoting. If we believers are not able to shake hands, embrace one another, kiss one another, and even pray, our faith will be defeated. Close quote. In addition to this signing, the Pope also had a private meeting with Abu Dhabi's Crown Prince, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, who later tweeted, and I quote, "We discussed enhancing cooperation, consolidating dialogue, tolerance, listen very carefully to this word, you've seen it before, you've heard it before, we've talked about it before, coexistence, coexist.
All right.
And important initiatives to achieve peace, stability, security, peace and security, and development for peoples and societies." Okay. There are some very serious problems with all of this, specifically this quest for the coexistence of Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. Chief amongst them is that of the coming one world religion that the book of Revelation tells us will come under the reign of the Antichrist during the 7-year tribulation.
All right. I'm going to stop it there. And basically, I could just stop the whole video from here on, because here is basically what he is saying. He just said that the book of Revelation talks about a one world religion, and it's going to be run and headed by the Antichrist during this 7 years of hell on earth that supposedly is in the end. It's at the end of the world, while the church is not there. And I'm here to tell you today that Revelation does not talk about, nor mention, nor say anything about one world religion. Let me say that again, because I'm not sure people clearly understand what I'm saying. The book of Revelation does not talk about, it does not mention, it does not say anything about one world religion. And the word coexist, so let's look at that for a second. Coexist means you exist, I exist, and he exists. Look at all the symbols in there of these religions. You got Christianity, you got, Satanism, maybe, I don't know. Not sure what some of these are. You got a pentagram. You got all these different things going on. No religion, Islam, and Judaism. Yeah, that's true. You got all these different religions represented in that logo, and then the call is for them to coexist. So let's say Revelation does say anything about one world religion. Okay, keep that in mind. That phrase, one world religion. You need to put that into your mind, because that's what everybody thinks is going to happen here. One world religion. That's not in Revelation. I'll show you what is there in a second. But let's say Revelation does reference one world religion somehow, or teaches, or is interpreted to be saying one world religion. Let's say that that's true. Is the coexist movement, and is what Pope Francis was trying to do, a one world religion? Let's think about it. So coexist means you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different religions in that word. That's 7 different religions in that word. I'm going to repeat myself again. 7 different religions coexisting. Is that one world religion, guys? By definition? Again, what I'm trying to get at is, when somebody says that all the religions are basically the same, so you need to all stop fighting and get along with each other and coexist, are you calling for one world religion by definition? Now you could argue, well, That's what it's going to lead to. That's what they'll start out by making it sound like we all need to just get along, and everybody will be much better off if you just kind of lay down your arms and everybody just get along with each other. And then somehow they trick you into saying, now that you're all getting along, I just want to introduce you to this new religion that you all are going to like now because you're all getting along. That's a different statement, and that might be something that could happen. Okay. By the way, that's not what Revelation says is going to happen. So I'm just asking this question: is coexisting? Is 7 different religions represented here on this logo? 7 different religions. Is that actually one world religion? Is that a call for one religion when they says all 7 of you get along? Just just think about it. See, a lot of the ways that the end times community preaches their stuff is they preach it by just repeating it over and over and over again. It's like a constant drumbeat of repetition. There's going to be one world religion. 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 Revelation says so. And all this talk about getting along and all the religions being really the same and everybody get along with each other and coexist. That's all part of it. That's all part of it. It's all part of it. But that's not. That doesn't even make any sense. Coexisting means they all get to stay. See, here's what I hear when I hear that. Somebody comes up to me on the street and says, I'm an atheist, you're a Christian, and my friend here is a Muslim. I think all 3 of us should just get along. You believe your thing, Muslim believes his thing, I believe my thing. Live and let live, man. Don't come over and proselytize to me, and the Muslim guy, don't you talk to me either, and nobody talk to each other. Nobody even tell each other about your faith. Just keep it to yourself. Is that one world religion? No, that's the opposite. These people are preaching the opposite of one world religion. They're pushing this idea that everybody should have whatever it is they believe because everything is true. Now, of course, is that true? No, that's not true. I'm not saying this is good at all. I'm just saying it's not what you're hearing. It's not what these people are talking about. Revelation 13. We have the beast. We don't have the Antichrist anywhere in this chapter. We don't have the Antichrist anywhere in the book. So this might shock some people. You will not find the word Antichrist anywhere in the book of Revelation. And the guy who wrote Revelation, his name was John. John invented or coined the term Antichrist. It's in his other epistles. But he didn't use the word anywhere in Revelation, a book that supposedly is partially, at least, about the Antichrist. Doesn't even mention the name Antichrist. There's no concept of a man called the Antichrist. That is entirely made up. It just is. So you have a beast coming out of the earth, out of the sea, and you have a beast coming out of the earth. And he causes all the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. He does great wonders. He deceives them by these miracles. They should make an image, and he has power to give life, and he causes them as would not worship the image to be killed. He causes all, small and great, to have the mark. No man might buy or sell unless he has the mark and the number of his name and all that stuff. So that's kind of the story we're given by the speculators. This is going to be a mark. You're not going to be able to buy or sell, whatever. Okay, there's no word about the beast forms one world religion and forces everyone to join that religion, otherwise they die. It says he forces them to worship the first beast. Can you worship something even if you have a religion that says otherwise? Can we do that today? Do we do that now? Do Christians worship anything other than God, their creator? Yes or no? Yeah, of course they do. We sin, we fall, we give homage to things we should not give homage to. We're Christians. We should only give glory to God and to the Lord Jesus Christ. That's it. That's it. No other thing. Do we do it? Yeah, we do it all the time. We give glory to sports figures. We give glory to entertainers. We give glory to politicians. We give glory to maybe our significant other. I don't know. We worship things all the time that we shouldn't be worshiping. Point is you sure as heck can worship something and not be part of a religion. And he's forcing, this is clearly providing a an image of forcing people. You have to bow down. So what does this call to mind? It calls to mind Nebuchadnezzar in Daniel, and I think that's the point. I think he's really trying to make a point here that just like in Daniel's day, and I can't reach my the top of my screen here. Just like in Daniel's day, um, when Nebuchadnezzar forced people to bow down, I don't know how to spell Nebuchadnezzar, to the image. All right, and oh brother, so um, just one more time, one more thing here, then I'll go because all right, chapter 3. I think it's chapter 3. Chapter 3, Daniel, the king makes an image of gold, and he sets it up on this plane, and he says, basically, you need to fall down and worship that image when you hear the sound of the music. Now, is there anything in here that where Nebuchadnezzar says, "Now, I want all you Chaldeans with your various religions, and I want you Hebrews especially that worship, the God, the Jehovah God, and everybody else on the planet that's under my reign. You need to all lay down your religions and come together as one under one religion of mine, and then it'll be the thing where you worship me. That's the religion you're going to have now." Does he say that ever? No, no. He says that nowhere. He doesn't have to say that anywhere. He simply tells people, "I don't care what your religion is, worship me." I don't. In fact, I guarantee you, he took a lot of twisted, warped pleasure in seeing or thinking about the Hebrew children bowing down and worshiping him while they still had their God that they believed in. I'll bet that was one of the reasons he did this. I'm speculating because the Bible doesn't say, but I bet a king like him would take a perverse delight in that. Yeah, wait till I make these Hebrew kids bow down and worship me. That'll be hilarious. There's nothing in here that says they have to join a new religion he's set up where they're all one. And there's nothing in Revelation that says that either. So I think what's dangerous about this, and you might say, well, what's your point? Here's my point. Yeah, I'm certainly no fan of the Pope. I'm not Roman Catholic. I'm certainly not Muslim. I think but here's what I do think. I think it might be a good idea anyway for people to not kill each other if they don't agree. So, like, I don't know. Do you want Muslims to keep killing non-Muslims because they think they're doing God's work? Would you like that to continue happening? I'm confused. Why would you want that? Of course you don't want that. I'm not. And do we want Catholics to go back on the rampage and start killing people that don't agree with them? Would you like that? See, something tells me that if we actually had a country where people really were being persecuted, I don't mean, oh, Johnny wasn't allowed to read his Bible in the cafeteria at this one high school in Idaho one day. I'm talking about real persecution, the kind of persecution that none of us even comprehend. I bet if we had actual bloodshed being made on a daily basis by the government because of our religion, and somebody, a few leaders stood up and said, "You know what? Let's stop doing that. Let's stop and get along and coexist. Let's have laws made where this guy can be a Christian, this guy can be a Buddhist, this guy can be a Satan worshiper. It's a free country. Let God deal with him. Just you don't have the right to kill another person over their belief. You don't. God didn't give you that job. That's his job. Let God take care of it." If somebody stood up and said all that, if this country was in that kind of you know, if that's the way it was in this country, I think people would think about it a little bit differently. And that's how it is in many parts of the world. You can't have any other belief system but the one the government makes you have. So that's what they're talking about here, and I don't see what's wrong with that. Prove me wrong, tell me where I'm wrong. So to sum up again, coexisting with multiple religions in the world and all of them getting along, that's the opposite of one world religion. That's the opposite. No one is saying you all need to join this one new religion we've made. No one is saying stop believing what you believe at all. They're saying Keep believing what you believe, just get along with the others. And number two, Revelation doesn't say that the beast is the Antichrist figure who creates a one world religion and forces everyone else to every other religion out and makes one religion anyway. There's not one single shred of evidence in Revelation that that happens. And I've proven somebody can worship an entity or a false god, an idol. They can worship something and still call themselves a Christian, a Jew, a Buddhist, a Muslim. People do it all the time. Worshipping something does not mean joining that religion. All right? Thanks for watching.